hopefully everyone has there's a DECA form, the permission slips, we have to have that, and then the all-inclusive 2-pager, which this used to be really crazy. It was like a 6-page document before, so now they've condensed it down. So make sure we get those tonight, and I appreciate you guys being here to do that, and thank you for notarizing. It makes it great. One thing about that is medicines. If there's any kind of medicines that, I don't know if there's a category necessarily that we need to know about, but you know, there are things, certain medicines that, you know, students aren't supposed to carry under a certain age, I believe. So we'll review those, and if there's a need that we have to contact you to talk about it, then one of us can carry it for them, and we can definitely communicate that with you, let you know who's doing that. All right, so I want to go over the itinerary, and this isn't 100% set in stone. DECA is still finalizing their outline of the itinerary, but this is pretty much what's going to happen. The only thing that may be different is just some times. So, big day, December 7th, we will, hopefully everyone will get there at the airport no later than 4 a.m. Our flight leaves at 6, and I don't do that to torture everybody or to torture you guys. Historically, it's always been the cheapest flight for a reason. But it also helps because a lot of the other groups get there in the evening, you know, 6, 7 o'clock, and they pretty much wasted an entire day. So this gives us the entire day to really, you know, spend some time with the kids, get them acclimated to New York, acclimated to the temperature, and where we don't really have a set agenda from DECA. This is kind of on our time and what we want them to experience before we really dive into the events from DECA. I say 4 o'clock for a reason, because having been on this trip multiple times, someone's always late. And then occasionally we do have some trouble going through airport security if you get that one TSA agent that's just really picky about, you know, bags, or they work really slow. Thankfully we've never missed a flight, but I would just hate for that situation to happen. So, you know, with traveling with 20 students, you know, I think it's important that we get there with enough time to make sure that everyone makes it through, and we've got everybody. So I told the kids today, please don't spend the night at the airport the night before. But one good thing to do is to carpool, and we can't set that up, but if you guys are interested in trying to work something out together, it is helpful when, you know, it's a group of students arriving as opposed to just, you know, we're waiting on one kid or another truck or whatever it is. So they do have to have some kind of school ID if they don't have a driver's license, which hopefully they all should, or at least a permit. So please have some kind of ID with you. All right. When we get to Newark, we're flying into Newark this year, we're going to take 3 vans, we'll load up and drive straight to the hotel, and that will be their first experience of what crazy traffic and driving is like. If any of you have ever been there, it's an adventure in itself. As soon as we get there, we'll drop off all the bags into one room because it won't be ready yet, and we get the kids immediately outside doing a scavenger hunt. They're not on their own, they're with each chaperones. And it's a competition between the 4 of us, which you guys didn't know that, but it's a lot of fun, and the kids get into it, and it gets them, you know, immediately kind of in the environment and doing some things a little bit out of their comfort zone. You know, asking people for directions or asking for a postage stamp, which actually that's the post office there in New York. It's huge. It's been in a lot of movies. So, and then we'll also just give them a general orientation. You know, this is north or uptown. This is downtown, lower Manhattan, and some of those kind of things. We will feed them. Well, we won't feed them, but we'll take them somewhere to get something to eat. Lunch, we'll go through Times Square, we'll go through Central Park, check out the Dakota, which they probably have no idea what that is. I mentioned the Rat Pack today, and they're like, no idea. So anyway, they'll get an education while they're there. Some movie sites, we're actually going to go to the zoo. It's only $5. We just confirmed that today, but we've never done that. So it's probably one of the smallest zoos in the country. Seriously, there's about 10 animals there in the zoo. Well, there's polar bears and grizzly bears. That's, you know, and we'll also do a canary design studio tour. So one of my former colleagues from Auburn just came out with this new product as a security product, basically like wireless security. And so he's offered to open up their design studio. So we just walk in, see what's going on, learn a little bit about that. And then the kids voted today that we will have dinner at Hard Rock Cafe, which it's not that expensive. It's not that, it can be, depending on what you order. But that's about $15, and that should be the most expensive meal of the trip, depending on what your child's appetite is like. So anyway, and that's just a good way for us to get everyone together, kind of celebrate everyone making it, and and laying down some more rules. So anyway, hopefully everyone makes it through that security checkpoint. And then Bryant Park, which is pictured here, you can't really see it that great. It's kind of like an outdoor, what do you want to call it? Outdoor market, yeah, outdoor market. And we'll go see the Rockefeller Christmas tree, which is ginormous. We'll go back to the hotel, go over some transportation stuff, talk about the next day. They'll probably be exhausted, and that's the point of all the walking, is to just make them tired, because they will be tired. So anyway, and this is a jeans day, so and I went over this with the kids, so and we can tally up how many days there are for which one, and we'll go over the dress code there at the end. So. All right, day 2. We're only on day 2. I'll try to speed up. So this will start with a workshop in the hotel talking about streets of New York. We've never had this workshop before, so it should be interesting. I'm sure it's, hey, don't do this, with their phones and look up and see what's going on. We'll go to Soho, which is south of Houston Street, not Houston Street, which is a really big fashion shopping area. We'll get a tour of that. That'll include a couple other things like a young designers market where you've got up-and-coming designers offering up their products at a really, really great rate for the kids if they're interested in buying something, or just, hey, how did you get started? What's your story? That kind of thing. We'll get lunch at the Rat Pack's favorite Italian restaurant, and hopefully all the kids will know who those people are before we leave. There's a little Soho shopping opportunity for them to do. No one's going to be, buying $1,000 dresses or anything like that. It's pretty low key. So not your kind of low key. Yeah, it's not. We're not taking them to, Tiffany or whatever. We'll walk by it. Yeah, Christmas presents. Sure.
Can you hold my credit card?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just put a stop, put a limit on it before we get there. Then we'll walk down Fifth Avenue and check out the New York Public Library, the Apple Store, which is all glass, and a couple designers along the way. So that's where the kids might get in trouble, trying to walk into one of those stores that, there's security, and it's like, $1 million just to walk in the door. And then finally, the Radio City Music Hall Spectacular, which is the Rockettes, which is a big New York City tradition. So, and that's always great. It's a wonderful show. All right, day 3. We're going to start off today at Ellen's Stardust Diner, which if you want to look that up, it's amazing. It was one of the highlights of our trip the last time we went. So basically this is a diner where all these want to be, aspiring singers are there, and that's kind of their way of earning money, is by being a waiter or a waitress. And so instead of having the jukebox playing or the radio, you have these people singing, rotating songs, and it's a lot of fun. So that's how we'll start that day. We'll go to Times Square, check out some of the broadcast studios like Good Morning America and some of those. Empire State Building tour during the day so they can actually see how big New York really is and get an idea of where they are. We'll get on an open air bus and freeze while we tour the financial district, so the lower part of Manhattan. And that's a really great trip because they give us facts as we go along on the bus tour, and then we get off, we check out a couple things, we go to Wall Street, we go to a place where George Washington was first sworn in, and you're talking to people, and it's awesome. It's a really great way to see the city.
If I may,
go ahead.
That's one of my favorite things every year is the financial tour, because it sounds kind of dry, especially to the kids, but they get into it because the tour guides are great, and there's so much to see right there in that area. It's really something unique. I mean, it's one of the most unique things ever about it.
Yeah, we actually have a former Cal student that is there that we're trying to work on getting them to talk to us. He works in Wall Street. A kid you'd never think would be in Wall Street or wearing a suit, for that matter, but he's found James Crespo. You guys know him? Kind of found his niche. So, and that's awesome. So hopefully we'll get to see him. So we'll get off of that and we'll go directly to the 9/11 Memorial Tour, which we've never been on. When we first started going on this trip, it was booked years in advance, and so finally it's kind of dwindled down a little bit. So now we can get in there with the kids and show them that. And then this is kind of the up in the air for the evening. We're working on, Dr. Bristow's working on a contact for us to hopefully get us some tickets to a Broadway show. If it doesn't work out, plan B, before this plan B, is to go to, there's a ticket office that we can go to that's for students and where a ticket that would normally be $300 to $400 is now sometimes as low as 30 or up to $100 for a ticket, depending on what's available. So that day,
Try a matinee.
yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, we'll go and we may even go the day before. Well, and we'll know in advance. So you know, on day 1 or 2, if we don't know anything yet from Dr. Bristow's contact, then we would go, you know, the previous day and find out what's going on the next. You know, so we'll get a good idea for that one. We're not going to force everybody to do that. I know that's a lot of money, but we told, you know, all the kids were interested in doing it this morning, which I thought was awesome. So in the event that, you know, if a group of 4 or 5 kids that want to go, we'll make it happen. The kids that don't want to go, there is a plan B, and we'll take them ice skating at Walman Rink or do something else in Central Park. So there will be a good alternate plan. It's not like, hey, you know, you're not going, go back to the hotel and just, you know, sit there. So,
You know, if we took $100 from every person, we still couldn't afford one ticket to Hamilton.
really?
Oh, it's not that much.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
I thought it was
2,500.
like 700.
600 or 700 bucks a ticket.
Big time. Maybe I was in two.
Yeah, but you only sit in the front, you only sit in the front row. So.
Yeah, that's what I was, yeah, exactly. That's right.
So, and perhaps, so, and I forgot to mention this, so day 2 is a formal day, all day, okay? And again, we'll talk about the dress for that. Day 3 is half of it will be jeans, we'll come back to the hotel, let them change, and then the rest of the day is dressed up. And then they would obviously change if they were gonna go ice skating. All right, day 4 is a formal day. This one will start at 6:45 in the morning, which is gonna be great. Marketing at Macy's is a new partner for us. In the past, it used to be, we would work with Disney's Broadway shows, and they would tell us the background behind that, and they've no longer partnered with them, so now it's Macy's. And I told the kids this morning, this is like the varsity of shopping locations. They're very busy, and they're very like, you know, what do you want? Check out right now, you better have all your stuff ready. And so it's an adventure at Macy's always, and really anywhere in New York. So we'll do that. We'll go right across the street to Madison Square Garden and get a tour of the garden, hear from their ticketing agency, how they promote their events. And even the first night, when we get there, LeBron's going to be there, you know, playing Cleveland against the Knicks. I'm like, oh great, we can get tickets for that. And so we called, yeah, $114 for the upper, like you're probably breathing the dust off the ceiling seats. And even on, you know, any of the ticket sites, the lowest price was $180. So it's a whole nother, it's not the Hawks, it's, you know, it's just different. It's a different atmosphere up there. So, so anyway, we'll get to see the locker rooms, and it's a great part because there's so much history from the garden. Then one of the best things I think on the tour is the NBC Studios tour. So it's on Saturday, so the kids hopefully will get to see the folks from SNL rehearsing. They should be in the building. That usually happens every year. So it is great to see how a live, and this isn't my expertise, it's Coach Aaron's, but you know, to see a real studio working, to see how the stage looks and how all those people work. And even the pages, the people that are just walking you through, that are just trying to make their way through it, you know, to hear some of their stories is pretty neat. So then we'll go to the Wax Museum, which should be fun. It's always fun walking through, seeing all these celebrities and hearing about the history of how exact, you know, they take all these measurements and realistic they are. And then this is just included today. Found out that the top of the rock, which is the Rockefeller Center, was not included on the trip. I think it's really important that they try and go. It's $20 for them to get up to the top. And we would do this at night. So it's one thing to see New York during the day to get a full expanse of what it looks like, you know, how large the city is. But it's another thing to experience it at night, and you see all the lights and the movement, and it's just, you know, the kids will get up there, you know, 5 years in a row. You get to take them up to the top, they're all talking, and all of a sudden you get up and you open the doors and like silence, you know, because everyone just loves how awesome it looks. So, so we'll talk about that with the kids a little bit more, but you know, we may ask you guys to be ready for a $20 ticket to go see that, experience that. And then we have holiday markets that we'll also go to that we've never been to before: Columbia Square and Union Square and Grand Central Station, all really famous places in New York to go check out some of those markets. So. And that's a formal day, but I didn't say that. And then day 5 is got a little bit of open time in the morning. Usually everyone loves the extra hour or two to sleep from being really tired, and gives them time to pack up, clean the room, and then we leave to go back to the airport and hopefully back here by 5 o'clock. All right, so that's the itinerary. And I will print all this stuff out for you guys when I have the finalized times. So, so you guys will know what we're doing every day. So, you can text them, hey, you should be in Soho right now. Is that where you are? Track them on GPS or something. Yeah, at least you can know what we're doing. So. Yeah, why are you in that alley? Recommendations. So just a couple of things. We had a lot of questions about food and money. So my recommendation is $25 a day is kind of a safe amount. Would you guys agree with that? So for breakfast, it's really, and the money amount really depends on what your child eats. We've had kids go there and spend $10 a day and they ate nothing, but they just didn't eat. So for breakfast, this is our hotel location right here. There's a Dunkin' Donuts right down the block. There's a Starbucks, there's a McDonald's, and there's a couple other little places right around here that no one knows anything about because they're just not our brand of restaurant or shop. But you can get a bagel. There's all kinds of vendors that it's really inexpensive, and that's the easiest way to do it. All right, lunch. It's really easy to get a piece of pizza or a hot dog, whatever it is, something on the go. And again, that's just how much do you want to spend, really. So, but $5 usually would get you, a piece of pizza or two and a drink. Dinner, depending on where we go, we won't typically take the kids anywhere that is outrageous. We'll go to a couple really good sandwich shops. $15 would be the most, I think, and that would be more like the Hard Rock Cafe type meal. So $25 a day should get them through. And I say that because if you bring your own snacks and pack them, put them in your jacket, whatever, then you should be able to get by without having to buy all the extra stuff. So I do encourage the kids to bring a water bottle, similar to this Nalgene one, or even something maybe even smaller, just so that they can either have their own water in the room or keep it with them if they do want to carry a small bag. But that can get heavy and kind of bulky during the day. New York water isn't always the best. And there's not always just places that are just real convenient to get it, unless you go to a drugstore and you buy packs of water, or if you're at dinner or lunch. So anyway, just a thought to think about. So, and there is a drugstore right, I forgot where it is. I think it's right here. There's a Dwayne Reed, which is kind of like a CVS, that you can pick up anything you need or forgot. So, all right, safety. So we have each chaperone is going to be responsible for, I believe, 5 students. So we have everybody split up, and the main reason for that is so that we can keep up with head counts. So we'll figure out, each group will figure out their own numbering system of 3 Stooges plus 2 or whatever. So each student will also have a partner that they're responsible for, and we've used this every time because it's just helpful to have the group, and then also, hey, I'm also looking for for Nate, or I'm looking for whoever. So, and then each student will also have our cell phone numbers. I don't know if they have Dr. Bristow's, maybe, but and then that'll get out to everybody. So at least they'll have hours if something comes up. We usually don't mind sharing that with the agreement that the kids aren't just sending us junk, and that it's specifically for this trip. And most of the kids always respect that, and which is good. So we'll also use the Remind 101 group text system to be able to get a message to everybody, but it could be a time where it's something specific that you need to talk to your group about, like, hey, let's meet at this time, or hey, Coach Heron's group is running, let's move a little bit faster in the post office so we can win the scavenger hunt. All right. Cell phones while walking. So if you wanted to, one of the last things you want to say to them before they leave is to tell them to put the phones away. We've had a couple instances where kids are doing this, and they don't think that car is gonna, stop for them, and they keep going. And we've had a couple slaps across the chest to keep people from walking out in the street. The other thing is, it's a walking city, so you have people walking down the street, and they don't care if they whack you, hit you in the shoulder, whatever. Not that everyone's rude, but it's just they've got places to go, and our kids are sometimes very oblivious to that. I will also admit that I've done that myself. The first year I went, I got lost numerous times because I was this guy with the camera instead. So I was looking up at least, but still, it's an amazing city, and I want the kids to be able to see it. Definitely not going to tell them not to take pictures of things and document and send them to you, because that's all part of it. But we'll definitely emphasize that part for safety. Real world lessons. One of the best things about New York is that you're in the real world. So talking about the subway, whether it's be on time or hey, when we say let's go, it really means let's go, or you're going to get trapped in that door and it's going to hurt. Or people are going to shove you, and you have to be okay with that. And you know, it's a whole nother world. And I think the kids learn so much in this week, almost, I won't say more than in the classroom, but it's some real world knowledge that they won't ever forget. Even communication, Coach Heron and I have been yelled at by this one lady in particular that stands out. We were just waiting for ice cream, and apparently we weren't close enough to the person in front of us, and Coach Heron does a better impersonation of her, but she basically said, "Are you in line? You better get your A game on here," you know, and just, like, okay, yes ma'am, you know, just, they move a little bit faster there, so.
No ice cream for you.
Highlight
Yeah.
the whole weekend.
Yeah, it's, so it's something different, and just the kids' confidence will definitely go up as we go through the trip, and it's, whether it's ordering something or talking to somebody, asking for directions, interacting, it's a great opportunity for them to develop real world skills, soft skills that they'll need moving forward in life to be successful. So, all right, dress code. So dress code, thank you to Gap and J Crew, or whoever I found here. So this is kind of what we would look for Jeans Day. So DECA says no holes in the jeans. You know, so for the airport day, wear a sweatshirt, be comfortable. We don't want kids, you know, having to be miserable sitting there. But we also don't want them looking like slobs when we're walking around representing Cal High School. So we do say comfortable shoes, and that could be a running shoe or, you know, whatever they think is comfortable to them. Just no flip-flops. Which, I mean, if a kid wore flip-flops, I would probably let them wear them just so they'd be miserable the whole time. But layers are important. So because it will be cold, it was 20 degrees colder this last week there than it was here. And so layering is important. So, you know, whether it's carrying the jacket with you and then having a sweater on that maybe zips up or something, you just have to be smart with what you wear so that you're comfortable. And of course, we always encourage hat, scarf, and gloves. With the texting fingers, of course. You can't have that. All right, so this is a formal day, and obviously we don't expect every kid to come out looking like, well, they won't come back looking, you know, in their late 20s or 30s. Maybe they will, I don't know. We probably will look a little older. So this is what we would consider kind of acceptable for the guys. We do have some guys that really just do it up, and they're like, hey, this is my one shot to really look great in New York. You never know who you're going to meet, which is true. We do meet with executives and other business people that have traded business cards before with our kids, so you never know. But generally, this is kind of what most of the kids wear, or they get away with the sweater without a tie look, which is okay. You know, any of that would be fine. They don't have to wear a tie. I told them dark pants because if it does rain or it's snowing, you don't want to walk around with stained looking khakis all day. So usually dark pants, button-up shirt, and a sweater or a jacket or a tie, some kind of combination is fine. I also recommend it for the guys, like a Sperry type shoe, and preferably something that has a little bit more of a not ankle support, but we go out, you know, no matter what the weather is, and so, you know, we're walking outside. So if it snows, that doesn't shut down what we're doing. So, you know, I just would hate to think that one kid is walking through New York and has, you know, snow going into his shoes every time he walks, so he's got wet socks for 20 miles, you know, walking. So for the ladies, I am not an expert in this area, so you're probably like, what is he showing up there? So, okay, so one of the things, I'll tell you, the no's are easy.